and welcome to Black Cats Chat, the international fans podcast for Sunderland AFC. My name is Lee Thurkel. I'm from the Bilbao Black Cats, and we're back with another review show, another 3 points, 6 points from 2 games, with a fine win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We're currently in third place, I think, aren't we? Because of the results
today.
Bournemouth won today. Bournemouth won and Man City are losing or have lost. So, yeah, third place. And to all those Newcastle fans out there, mind the gap. We have to say that, don't we? Anyway, so our two guests today, we've got Justin Warner from SAFC NASA in Toronto, Canada. Justin, it's just gone 12 o'clock there in the midday. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, thanks, Lee. How are you?
Good. I'm fine. Better than this morning. I was a bit rough. And our second guest is Miguel Matias. Miguel is from Cordoba in Spain, but he's been living in Sunderland for about 20 years. He's a season ticket holder. He's been on our Spanish version of the podcast quite a few times, but now he's coming on the English one. Miguel, buenas tardes. How are you, mate? Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes. Very well. I'm very well, thank you. Very happy with the 3 points yesterday. So nice weekend.
Yeah. So, Miguel, obviously you've done your Sunderland story in Spanish, but for our English listeners, I'd like you to tell us your Sunderland story about how you became a fan, etc.
Yeah, well, obviously I met who is my wife now, which is a American girl, 25 years ago. Moved here in 2001, and from the moment I got here, my father-in-law got me into Sunderland, took me to games, and as a football fan that I am, straight away I took to the club. I enjoyed the atmosphere in the stadium light, and yeah, from there, 24 years later, I still go into the matches. Now I go with my boys. So yeah, really, almost like everybody in my wife's family is a big Sunderland fan. So I had no option but to be a Sunderland fan. And yeah, enjoying the ride at the moment after 8 horrible years. But yeah, really good at the moment. Yeah, everybody seems very happy. You go around the town, everybody's in high spirits, and it's really good. But yeah, that's how I became a Sunderland fan.
Do you remember your first match?
For my family. My first match, as I said in the Spanish podcast, was a derby, actually. A derby that unfortunately we lost 1-0 in a corner. I can't remember. I think it was a Greek defender that played for
Dabizas, yeah.
A lot of the road. They scored the goal in the header. And yeah, it was automatically hooked because it was the atmosphere, the passion of both set of fans were really, really good. Like the hatred, which I probably haven't experienced in Spain, that kind of rivalry, that almost hatred that come with the two teams, the two set of supporters. Yeah, that was my first game. Unfortunately, it was a loss. But yeah, from there I started to go pretty much all the time.
And if you obviously being from like southern Spain, from Andalusia, what would you say are the similarities or the differences between being a Sunderland fan and being a football fan in Spain?
I think that, for example, I found a lot of similarities between the northeast of England and the south of Spain. Character-wise, personality of the people, the working class backgrounds. I mean, I'm a Cordoba supporter, so it's pretty much the same kind of passion that you see down the south with teams like Betis. I'm not going to name the other ones from the same city. Malaga got a really good set of supporters. Cordoba, Granada, Almeria is quite similar than the south, from the south of Spain. How they live football here and how we live football in Spain. Yeah.
And what would be your best moment, would you say, as being a Sunderland fan in those 25 years?
The best moment to me, I mean, Wembley, obviously, this last Wembley was unreal, but I think that probably a step ahead was the Ballard goal against Coventry in the semi-final. I think that I haven't seen a stadium erupt like that ever in all the years I've been going to football matches. That probably will be my highlight of watching Sunderland.
Yeah, and you were also on Sky Sports that night, biting your fingernails and praying, weren't you, as well?
I was in Sky Sports as well, by the way, fingernails. Yeah, I had nothing with them at the end.
Brilliant, mate. Well, thanks a lot for that. Anyway, so Justin, on to the game then. Um, there was talk, wasn't there, about going to a back five for this game after what happened to Man United. Did you think it was on the cards that he would go to a back five, or did you think he was just going to persist with the back four?
I did wonder at this sort of after, yeah, sort of during the week, whether we might go to a five. But then with Alderetti's concussion news, and him being out, to me it seemed to make sense that we would stick with a four, with that being what we're used to and what we're comfortable with. Um, and then yeah, obviously the team sheet came out and Geertruida was in the team, but it wasn't clear whether he was going to be in midfield or in defence. But obviously when we kicked off, it was fairly clear that we started with the three at the back. So yeah, it has worked as a change in tactics. I think it took us a little while to settle down um, playing that way from starting off with it, but yeah, it was. I think we all thought that it was likely to be on the cards, particularly with a team as sort of forward thinking as Chelsea usually are.
hmm Yeah. And Miguel, obviously, when that news that Alderete was out during the week because of concussion protocols, for me, that kind of made me think more about that they might actually go to a back five and bring Gertrude in as that third centre back. What about you? Were you thinking the same?
Yeah, we were talking actually between a few of us, and the majority of us we all agree that it probably would be a back five uh, to match up Chelsea. I think that was the problem against Man United, that we didn't match man to man their formation. I think that Lebri learn from that a little bit late that game, make the changes with 2-0 down, which maybe a little too late. But yeah, I thought that even with Alderete out, we would still go with a back five. Uh, Having Gertrude is really good because he can play in probably 3, 4 different positions. So give you that plus that you need. But yeah, I think that the way that Chelsea plays exactly the same way that United with the three centre backs and the two wing backs really high on the pitch. I think that yeah, the back five I think that actually suit us really well there, and maybe it's the way to go against teams like that in away from home, especially in the future.
hmm And Justin, I mean, Reynildo came back, and immediately you could see like his worth to the team, both defensively and offensively. I thought he was just like picking the ball up, winning tackles, and within like 5 seconds, he was like halfway up the pitch with the ball, carrying
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah, so much energy. I mean, for somebody who's 31 years old as well. Yeah, I didn't think there was too much doubt that he was going to come back in a left back. I think that the question was whether, as you said, whether we would accommodate people in a five, push Hume on the right and Mukiele into the middle, or if we went to a four, whether we were going to keep Mukiele at right back and obviously until Alderete got injured, it was going to be a toss up between him and Ballard for the other centre back position. But yeah, he's obviously apart from the aberration when he got sent off, I think he's been one of our better players. And yes, just brings so much pace and calmness at the back as well. I mean, there were a couple of times where the ball he sort of was shielding the ball to go out, and yeah, it just looked like he knew exactly what was gonna happen and how he was gonna play it. Whereas you see sometimes younger defenders getting a bit twitchy in that situation. So yeah, I thought he had a good game and it was good to see him back on the side.
Yeah. Um, Miguel, after a couple of minutes, then we had a fantastic chance. Dan Balla was like the first minute, wasn't it? Because there was one player who actually put the ball in, which was Traore, and people were kind of again scratching their heads as to why he's starting the game again ahead of Talby, for example. But I thought he put a really good ball in, and Ballard should have done better for that chance, shouldn't he, for that header?
I think he should have gone across. I think that it was no pace on the ball, so try to score and generate the pace from the header with the angle that he had.
Mm.
Maybe was very difficult. I think probably that ball come across to the far post could have given us another chance. But yeah, good ball from Traore, and I think he had the best game since he signed for us this season, and I think it was quite strong in defense. I think he played quite well, helping out with Garnacho and Cucurella. And I think that he had a couple of good balls in, and the goal as well come from his shot. So I think he had a good game. I think that is the same with some part of uh, our supporters that they expecting players to hit the ground running every single time, and we've been proved time and time again wrong about writing off players too early in their Sunderland careers. I mean, I think it's happened with Job. I think it's happened with Roberts, with Clark.
Well,
We
with
had it with Magenda last
or
year.
nine Sirkin, yeah, there's been quite a
Niall
few.
Serkin, even Talby this season, he had a lot of stick. Broby had a lot of stick from fans. So I think it's just time sometimes to settle down, different system, different group, different country. You just need to give it a little bit of time. But yeah, I think that Traore had a decent game, in my opinion.
Hmm. Just on that chance then, Ballard. I mean, he scored from much more difficult positions, hasn't he? Headers, like the one against Coventry. For him to be so free at the back post, were you not disappointed that he didn't make the keeper work a bit more? Or do you agree with
Yeah,
Miguel that?
it was straight at him, wasn't it? And yeah, it was almost like he had too much time to think about what he was going to do, and he just got it wrong, basically. Yeah, disappointing. It would have been, yeah, would have been the perfect start of the game. But yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the hardest of chances he had. I think, like I say, I think that the fact that he had so long to think about it coming in, whereas like the Coventry goal was probably just completely reactive.
Yeah.
I think he was just kind of caught in two minds almost what he was going to do, and he didn't get either enough power or placement on it. So yeah, disappointing.
Yeah, and as Miguel mentioned, like the ball did seem to get held up, didn't it? Like, it seemed to
Yeah,
kind of be in the air for a long time, swirling around, and I think at the last minute as well, like the ball kind of curves away from him, and that's why he doesn't really get much contact on it. But that was a very good chance, and we've seen before, like against Burnley, when we have a good chance and you don't take it early on, you can get punished, and just like a couple of minutes later, we got punished from Garnacho. I mean, it must have been so frustrating from Lebris to go to a back five, to change to a back five, and then after 3 minutes they scored the goal. I'm thinking at that point the game plan is over. What's he going to do now? But he actually says in his post-match comments that he didn't change the game plan. He just kept on with it. So how were you feeling after that first 3 minutes and going a goal down?
to be honest, I thought we were going to be in for a tough ride. Uh, I thought Chelsea's tails were going to be up. I thought we were, yeah, we were kind of caught on our heels a bit. It was like they caught us on the counter, didn't they? Basically, Hume was upfield. Mukiele had to come across to cover. I think he did the right thing by pushing Garnacho wide onto his left because he is right-footed. And I mean, fair play to him. It was a good finish. Roofs will probably be a little bit disappointed that he didn't get more on it, but it was a good shot. And you can't save them all. So yeah, it was disappointing. I think it was is the message from that one. But yeah, like you say, we didn't panic. We didn't change anything. And yeah, we just kind of shut up shop really and just calm down. Let them have the ball. They had an awful lot of possession, but they really didn't do very much with it. And yeah, that seemed to be what Lebris had set us out to do from the start. I think to be a bit more sort of calmer, and I think we perhaps were a little bit overexcited at the start. We had sort of like two or three really good sort of attacks in the first couple of minutes, and then they scored. If we'd kept kept going like that, it could have been a cricket score. But yeah, I think we did the right thing, just kind of bided our time, and I thought we certainly grew into the game. Certainly the back five grew into the game.
Yeah, I mean, Miguel, we did start really quick, didn't we? It was like quite surprising that normally we don't really do a high press anymore, but you saw Isidore, Traore and Laffy pressing their defenders, and they caused them a couple of errors in the first minute. But that's how their goal really came from, wasn't it? Because we just had an attack. They give us the ball. Reinildo pushes it up and he loses out in the possession. And as Justin mentioned, we've still got several players out of position from our previous attack. So I think when you see there Mukiele defending one-on-one against Garnacho, yeah, he does show him down the line. Could you criticise Roofs for not being able to stop that at least near post?
I mean, he's probably disappointed that he probably think for his high standards he couldn't do a little bit better, but he's 4 yards out. It's sometimes you see that ball already at your feet. You try to come across from one side to the goal to the other and try to uh, stop it. Sometimes it's a lot of games that you see where going quickly on the back post and the near post goes under the legs, between the legs of the goalkeeper. It happens. Probably a little bit disappointed more with Roofs, most of how open we were. Uh, in the fourth minute, I think I probably agree with Justin. I think that we got in their faces a couple of times and uh, make a couple of errors from Sanchez and a couple of errors from them in the back, and we push a little bit too high, and which again is the risk you take when you press high. The ball bounces a little bit awkward for Reinildo. He loses possession, and then obviously we are caught out of possession on our right side, and the cross open with a good pass by Neto. Again, you play against good quality, sometimes they're just gonna open you up. It's just one of those things with football. But yeah, I agree with Justin. We didn't look at changing things. We didn't look panic. We almost thought, it's a game here. And I think we were watching the game. We were thinking the same. Is we're gonna have our chances here today. We keep it at 1-0. We're gonna have our chances. And yeah, a little bit disappointed how the goal went so early on as well, which is exactly what happened in Old Trafford. We conceded very early, and then things didn't well play well for us. But I don't know. I didn't think that Chelsea was as on top of the game as they thought they were, and I think that we could still have a chance to nick maybe a draw in that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah. And I obviously just the worry is that it's Chelsea's first chance of the game and they score. So you kind of immediately begin to fear, no? Could this be like a heavy defeat that we've been worried that could happen? But Chelsea only really played another 10, 15 minutes on top, and then we kind of got to grips with the game, didn't we? Like it took us about 15, 20 minutes to get to grips with the game. I was trying to work out the formation, but then it became evident that out of possession we were like basically 5-4-1, with Gertrude at left back, left centre back, and then you had kind of Trey Hume pushing into midfield, in the centre midfield when we were going forward. It was like more of a 4-5-1. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah, they seem to take it in turns because Dan Ballard was pushing forward on a few occasions as well, sort of bring the ball out of defence. I mean, I think he almost went on a mazy sort of a Newer-esque run at one point where he thought he was never going to pass the ball. He just kept on going and going and going. But yeah, it was the plan was obviously to get somebody from the back line to step into midfield, and like you say, most of the time it was Hume. And seemed to, for the most part, seemed to work pretty well. We weren't hitting them particularly quickly on the break, but we were definitely absorbing pressure and then transitioning. So yeah, seems to be working well.
And Miguel, I think with Laffy on the pitch and with Isidore up front, I think we're starting to see a little kind of connection now, aren't we, with those two players? Because there were quite a few times where Laffy put some good balls in behind Isidore, I think he had one shot which was blocked early on, and then the second shot hit the side netting. But that's what we need to get Isidore into the game, isn't it? In those positions.
Yeah, I think that they developed a good relationship already on the pitch last year. Where uh, remember the goal uh, in the in the Riverside against Middlesbrough.
Hmm.
I think they had two or three passes from Lefebvre. They are always looking for that first pass, that quick pass in releasing Isidore, that plays on the shoulder of yesterday was playing on the shoulder of the Chelsea centre backs. I think yeah, it's a good connection. I think Shaka as well have a couple of good balls into Isidore uh, yesterday, and I think yeah, I think that also with the formation, I think that was very clever of with possession. I think that what you said is true. I saw the same thing. Hume coming into midfield, and also Lefebvre sometimes leaving the left side to come central again and leave the wing for Reinildo to and create the superiority there in midfield against two Chelsea midfielders, because Chelsea we just play with Fernandes and Caicedo in that position, and I think that bringing that extra man, especially with Hume, and sometimes that extra man is why with Lefebvre we control this midfield quite well on possession, and yeah, out of possession, sorry, 5-4-1. It was quite clear, very tight lines, no room in the middle for playing in the pockets. And I think that to me, the same that I criticized him a little bit in the Old Trafford game, which I think he got it wrong. In my opinion, I think he was spot on yesterday. So I have to give him credit to Lebris
Yeah,
yesterday.
and you mentioned there as well, like Fernandes and Caicedo in the middle of midfield for Chelsea. Both those players probably cost more than our entire squad this season. That we bought, because I think they bought 80 or 70 million each one. So, and basically they didn't give it a sniff really yesterday, did not. Justin, we had a couple of chances. Then we had like I've got Lefree here. Lefee's free kick, just went over the bar. When
Yeah.
we've got someone on the pitch, we've always got a chance of getting a goal from a free kick. He didn't hit the target this time, but he will get a few goals, I reckon, from free kicks at some point.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise because the referee wasn't giving us very much yesterday. I didn't think so. For him to give us a free kick there was definitely a bonus. And yeah, he took it pretty well. Just almost hit it too well. It was just fizzing over the bar and rising, I guess. But yeah, he looks like he knows what he's about, doesn't he? So yeah, I think you're right. I think he'll pick up some goals over the season. And yeah, the link up between him and Isidore seems to be coming together. So yeah, we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, no, and you mentioned there the referee wasn't giving us many decisions. I mean, there was one foul he gave against us, Miguel. The tackle that Trey Hume did on, I think it was Garnacho, wasn't it? Where he clearly wins the ball first, but then takes him out afterwards. And I was like, how can you give that a free kick?
I think that is you see a lot of those now in modern football where almost they don't allow the follow up
The follow through, yeah,
on
yeah.
the tackle. But when I played, if you get the ball, any kind of the ball, and then you take the man down, as long as you get the ball first, it's never a free kick. But to me, it's not a free kick, and it's funny because the commentator was saying that we probably should get a yellow card to Trey Hume as well for the tackle, and I thought, come on, you're on the tele, he just got the ball clearly. You know what I mean? Yeah, in the follow through he gets it, but it's not malicious. It's not, to me, it's not even a free kick, to be fair. But yeah, the referee, as always, when you play against these big six sides at home, you know that they're gonna give them more that they're gonna give us. That's just one of those things that we need to be prepared for this year, as is happening all the time with other teams too.
Yeah, I know, Justin, there was a tackle as well where Isidore went in the second half and he was like, it was a 50-50
Mm.
and he was stretching. And when you look back, you can see that his studs are quite high up, but he didn't get a yellow card for that. But you could have understood maybe why he would get a yellow card if he had got a yellow card.
Yeah, I don't think we'd have complained too much if he'd got carded for that one. To be honest, it was a full-blooded 50-50, should we say? I think that for a change, the Chelsea player didn't make a big song and dance of it. Whereas like before up to then, I mean, they've been going down like flies. Like the merest of contact or merest lack of contact with
Well, Pedro
yes.
Neto and Cucurella, no,
Oh
were
God,
kind
yeah,
of play acting quite a bit.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know what it is about the Madley brothers. I think Amaka must have done something to their mum um, when she was younger because both of them seem to hate us. So yeah, we don't get decisions from either of them.
Yeah, and then Miguel, even like the Lefebvre yellow card, I thought that was kind of harsh as well because it wasn't really malicious. He tries to pull out, but then the referee just can't wait to get the yellow card out of his pocket for him.
Yeah, I think that the same is just one of those tackles that to me is just is a foul and moving on. Like I think that it's really easy sometimes to get the yellow card out with some teams and seems seems that other teams are allowed to do much stronger tackles that and don't get yellow card. To me, it's all about consistency with referees. Because if you do it all the time, you say, okay, this is the bar, this is what we need to go. And also the players know what would be a yellow card, what not be a yellow card. However, these days it just change the the mentioning of what is a yellow, what is not a yellow, depends on the game. Sometimes it's a silly tackle that is really strong, and you see a red card. I think we saw that in the Champions League the other day with Ajax. I think like it was a red card tackle against Chelsea, exactly the same one Real Madrid did against Juve, Brahim Diaz, and he got a yellow. So it's just that consistency. I think what is needed for the referees is that your level of what you're gonna allow to happen for a yellow card, perfect. But be consistent, do it all the time the same way, which I
No,
don't think they do.
no, absolutely not. Right then, just onto the goal. So we kind of weathered that 20-minute storm, and then we started to get to grips with the game, and then I was on a SAFC fan TV last week with Wee Philly, and he mentioned like, are these long throws uh, always going to be the best way to create an opportunity? Because apparently, like we had some throws that didn't really reach, but I suppose when we get a goal finally from a throw in from a Nordi Mukiele throw in, it shows that they do pay off.
It's bizarre, isn't it? It's sort of it doesn't really make any sense because I mean Mukiele's throws aren't even. I mean, they're long, but they're not even really that good. I mean, you get like the Brentford lad, whose name escapes me. He really sort of like hurls it in, and it comes in very hard and flat. Whereas Mukiele's are really sort of like looping
Yeah.
throws. So he gets lots of height, but not much pace on them. And you really would have thought the defenders would be able to cope with it much better than they do, but it just seems to instill sheer panic into them. It's really bizarre. And yeah, the goal was yeah, it was kind of the second ball, wasn't it? Really off the throw in, got knocked out, and it fell to Traore, who did well to keep it down. To be honest, it was I suspect it probably would have been blocked before I got the goal, but there was Mr. Isidore in front of on the 6 yard line basically to redirect it past the keeper. And I was worried when it went in that he was offside because we had about two or three players that steps up to go for the ball, Isidore being one of them. But fortunately, Chelsea had a player stood on the post still who just hadn't moved, so clearly onside. But yeah, nice to see it works, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a few more of them.
Well, I was like more worried about Reynoldo because it looked like at one point that it might have come off his hand when it deflected off
Oh,
him,
really?
and
Okay.
I think it hit off his chest, and I was like, oh shit, it's gonna get ruled out here. But Miguel, these throw-ins then, when you have players like Ballard who got the flick on, and we've got players like Alderete on the team as well, eventually when he comes back from injury, those players can attack the ball and they're very good at winning the ball in the air. So, would you say that the long throw should be kept for us? That it is like a threat?
Totally, totally. I don't see why not. In the end of the day, you need to do whatever you can do to score, and to me, it's another weapon. You know what I mean? Especially, as I said, I agree with you. It's not so much the throw himself from Mukiele. I don't think it's as straight down as Brentford, for example. You look at the goal yesterday, ball comes really, really quick, really low, where it's more a little bit loopy, the one with Mukiele, but it's Ballard, especially, that creates havoc. And it's not, if it's not the first touch, like yesterday, he didn't get the flick, but he made the center back header out, which that make him go right in the goal, and that what avoided the offside. Again, was and it's just that we got big physical players that if we can impose and make teams nervous. I think that we saw it against Aston Villa at home. Every time there was a throw, was a set piece, having that physicality that we lacked in previous years. I mean, I still remember the semi-final against Luton, losing pretty much on two set pieces down to the physicality of Luton. I think that if it's a weapon that we can use and we can get 3, 4, 5 goals this season from there, I'll say do it. To me, whatever you remember years ago, the lad from Stoke, that he was a nightmare to defend so I think Brentford scored anything 8, 9 goals last season on free throws. So if it's another weapon that you can use, I'm all happy for that.
Yep. Well, we went into half time then, 1-1, and we're going to speak about the second half in part two because we're going to take a short break. So we'll see you soon.
Hi, my name is Adrian. I'm from Durango. I have been supporting Sunderland since 2008. How are the lads?
So, second half. Now, Justin, in recent times, the second half for us has not been very good because we always start slowly. But this time against Chelsea, we started quite strongly, didn't we, in the second half?
Yeah. Culminating, I think Isidore had a shot into the side of the net, didn't he? That managed to get a squeak of excitement from one of the lasses at the Toronto meetup yesterday. But it's made a nice change. I mean, it's sort of, I think we had to try and sort of take the game a little bit more to Chelsea, but to counter because they were more likely going to come out of the blocks after us as well. So yeah, it was the first like 10, 15 minutes of the half were pretty even, pretty end to end. It was a good game to watch, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Miguel, for me, one of the highlights of that second half, apart from the goal, obviously, was the tackle from Granit Xhaka and Garnacho on their left wing. I don't know if you remember that. Just like Garnacho was running down,
I remember that.
and Xhaka just like came sliding, and Garnacho was whinging, wanting a free kick. But yeah, it was really nice to see that tackle, wasn't it? And it got the Sunderland fans going as well, didn't it?
I think it was another one as well from Lefe on the left side of our attack.
Yeah.
On Cordoba, that again got the supporters on the feet again. And yeah, I think it's important when you see your captain, your leader, leading by example there. I think that if the young players seeing a 32, 33-year-old footballer that has won numerous things, and he's doing that, he's doing the dirty work. I had to do the same, and I think that's the leadership skills that he has that come so important to a young team, that he leads by example, that he pushed forward in that chance that he had, making a 40-yard run, in the 70 minutes, with 33 years old. I think that is that leadership that he brings to the team, calmness as well, almost always know what to do, what not to do, how to cheer the team when they are a little bit down, and how, yes, to me, yeah, that tackle probably didn't need to make it. To be fair, I think it's one of those that wanted to like give a push to everybody, and yeah, one of those things, certain things that happen in the games that you can see the team getting confident and getting that togetherness that Lebri talk about a lot. And I think that's one of the examples that how committed they are. Shaka, Lefe, Sadiki again, which didn't stop running all game. Uh, just to me, it's just that togetherness, and that's why it's gonna get us points this year. The fact that everybody seems quite happy to fight for each other. You don't see any bad atmosphere
No, not at
that
all. No, no.
in the team.
Yeah, yeah. No, and Justin, Miguel mentioned there Lafay and the tackle that he made. That was basically the next point on my list. Because just before that, he won a header against Reece James and he really attacked the ball. And then the ball came back, and I think, yeah, he basically just slid on Chalobah, took him out, and won the ball. Did like a bit of a spin with the ball between his legs, won a free kick. That's a side of Lafay that I don't think we saw last season, isn't it? It's only like this season that we see that kind of full-blooded commitment and aggression from Lafay. Because we kind of
Yeah,
consider him as a flair player, but he's also got that other side to him, hasn't he?
yeah. I think you're right. It's yeah, he looked a good player on the ball, but it's his work off the ball that's impressing. At the moment, yeah, and it was a class tackle, then shielded the ball well and bought us the free kick, like you say. And I mean, I know people still question the Traore's starting place in the team, but he was doing the same on the other side. I mean, he didn't bring us a lot from an attacking sense, but he put in an awful lot of work in defence. And like you would say when you were talking about the shape of the team earlier, the 5-4-1, I mean, he was definitely coming and being part of the midfield and helping the team defend. So yeah, good effort across the board. Like Miguel said, no egos. They seem to be playing as a team, which is all you can ask for, really.
Yeah. No, Miguel, you mentioned before, no Sadiq, he was everywhere. And he had me swearing at the TV in Spanish and English when Chelsea had that counter attack and there was like a long ball played up, and I thought Sadiq is
Yes.
definitely the favourite to get there. But at the last minute, he just pulls back, and then I was like, "What the? What? Oh, you can't imagine what I said in Spanish, Miguel, at the TV." But
Well, pretty much what I said. Pretty much what I said. I can imagine. Yeah, I don't know. I think we huge the first bounce, and then after the first bounce, I don't think he was 100% sure that could get there before the Chelsea player, and I think he just decided that the best option was just to give himself a few yards, which better that get committed and then get past very easily. But yeah, he was favorite for that. I don't understand why he let it bounce in the first. I mean, I remember playing football very, very young in Spain, and the coach always used to say, "Watch the bounce. Don't let the ball bounce. The moment that the ball bounce, you're in trouble." And I mean, it shows with the Broby goal, with Talby goal, with the Broby hold on, like the moment that you let that ball bounce, you're in a world of pain. And I think that I don't know. I think it misjudged the bounce. I don't know if the effect of the ball, the direction that he didn't expect. I don't know. Was a very bizarre one. What a bizarre one.
yeah, yeah,
Because yeah, I was swearing a little bit there as well. Yeah.
yeah. Just it was strange, wasn't it? Because do you think he kind of misjudged the bounce as well? But also he thought that he's got kind of cover behind him. But when he realised that, he backed off, and all of a sudden you've got 2-on-1 because there wasn't any cover.
To be honest, I thought it was the spin on the ball helped it to hold up, because I thought when he played it, it looked like it was gonna just bounce on and go out of play. Um, but it didn't. It's kind of spun back up and allowed Robbie to to just it and get it under control for what seemed like an eternity. Um, and yeah, I mean the two of them took up. I mean, from the coaching manual, the right position. I mean, um, they were tight to Robbie, not allowing to turn, and then blocking a pass across the top of the box. But um, bizarrely, I mean, well, perhaps not bizarrely, we're talking about the effort of the team as a whole. Um, we had Getroida, who played the ball in the first place, was the first one into the box,
Mm.
and Tauby was the second one in, and there were hardly any Chelsea players come tracking back with them. So yeah, it was, I mean, great play by Robbie to hold the ball up, and then just the pass was just perfectly measured. And yeah, I don't know if you've seen the video that was been doing the rounds from I was guessing it must have been the Chelsea end, of Xhaka basically celebrating as soon as Talby touches the ball.
Yeah,
He's like jumping up in the air, and he knows it's a goal. It was just a brilliant moment.
Oh, definitely. And we're going to come on to that moment more later on. But going back to that Siddiqui incident, right, where who was the first person to come back and dispossess the ball? Enzo Lafay.
Lefebvre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Busted his bollocks to get back and got the toe in. So it was nice to see that. Right then, I was kind of fuming at the TV, the commentators as well. Like it was Gary Breen. He was commentating on the stream I was watching, and they were just all Chelsea the whole match, just like completely having an orgasm over Chelsea. And then when this guy Estevao came on, and he's like say one of the hottest talents, and like the first thing he did was like basically got tackled by Reynaldo, which was nice. And then obviously Cucurella got flattened by Robin Roofs. Miguel wanted a free kick, was a bit upset, but I was like, if you're a goalkeeper, you've got the right to use your hands and punch.
I mean, to me, it is. I mean, get hit, but in the end of the day, Roofs get there first, punch the ball away, and then in the follow up, he's there, and he said he's there. In the end of the day, that's the risk that you take. But to me, that's not a penalty. I mean, I've been in Twitter today. A lot of Chelsea fans seems to have an grievance with the referee about that. They think it's a penalty. They think that the goal should be disallowed for offside for get through that. In our second goal, again a little bit. To me, either of the two things would be a lot very harsh. I mean, the penalty to me is not a penalty. It's not even a consideration. VAR doesn't need to come in because it's clearly punched the ball first.
Yeah.
And it takes some distance, and he's using the follow up, which he can't stop. You know, the motion of the arm hit Cucurella. I mean, Cucurella, I'm Spanish. I know Cucurella very well from watching him in Spain many years, and Cucurella is that kind of player. He's always has been, and it's not new. You have seen Cucurella play with Spain or with Getafe in the past, or he's always like that. He likes to go down very easily, cry, whine. He's that kind of player. But to me, it's not a penalty at all.
No, I think obviously if Roofs doesn't make contact with the ball and he punches Cucurella, then I think you probably can't argue that it would be a penalty. But obviously, if he gets contact first, but then just the interesting thing is that it's a head injury, but the referee doesn't stop play; he just lets it go on.
Yeah, lying prostrated on the near post. Yeah, I was amazed he didn't stop the play earlier, to be honest. I mean, going back to it, I mean, if anything, I would say Cucurella jumped into Roofs. And yeah, I was almost disappointed that Roofs didn't get more on him, to be honest, because I hate him. But yeah, it was a perfectly fair challenge. And I think he jumped in Roofs and Roofs elbow almost. But yeah, again, strange refereeing. I mean, we had one, obviously the Liverpool one was perhaps less clear cut last weekend when McAllister went down after taking an elbow from Van Dijk. I would say that was less clear cut, but this one was, I mean, in the middle of the action, basically there was a player lying down, obviously not unconscious, but obviously injured, and it was obviously a head injury. So yeah, I don't know what the referee was doing at all.
Yeah. So we made our first subs then, Miguel, on 65 minutes. Traore put in a decent shift. We got replaced with Talby. Then 75 minutes, Bobby and Rig come on for Isidore and Lafay. Good subs, I thought, because all three of them contributed positively to the outcome.
Yeah. I think that with the first change, we saw Talby on the right hand side, which is not his favorite position, I think. Then with the other two changes, when Rick came on, Rick went to that side and Talby came left again. Probably more of a holding or pay, more of a focus focal point for the attack. And I think that the changes were good changes at the right time. I think that Traore, how Justin said before, he worked really hard, tracking back and helping out in the Chelsea left side attack with Cucurella and Garnacho and then Pedro Neto they went down that side as well. I think that Lefe put a shift and a half as well. I think that yeah, the probably legs were going a little bit. Isidore the same. I think there were very good changes, and yeah, I think they brought a little bit of fresh to our midfield and give us another dimension in attack with Talbi on the left side. Something that Rich James hasn't didn't have to worry much about attacking from his side from Sunderland. Now you got a player that's gonna run at you, and yeah, it changes things. Yeah, I think he was spot on the subs.
Yep, and he didn't make more than that. He only made the 3 subs. I mean, you've got like other players like Mayenda on the bench. You've got Dan Neil, you've got Luke O'Nien. You know what I mean? But he just okay. I'm going to use these 3 subs. Justin, one of the things that stood off me in the second half was I was impressed with our kind of like nice one-touch football in tight spaces, like especially on the wings. We got out of some difficult positions, and you always see them like pre-match in the warm-up. They always have these like kind of small-sided games where they're passing in tight spaces, and they only allow one touch. And I think the more you do that, obviously, the more it pays off in during the match.
Yeah, the old rondo. Yeah, it's yeah. If you watch videos of Labrouse's Lorient team, they were pretty good on sort of the tight triangles, and yeah, exactly the same thing. It's sort of, as I mentioned before, sort of the calmness on the ball. We didn't seem to be panicking too much, even when the ball was sort of bouncing around. We were able to take that one touch and play it calmly to the man and work it out. There weren't too many like even overhit passes from midfield backwards. We had one that I can't remember who it was, played a bit of a howitzer into Getroida, I think it was. But yeah, generally,
Reynildo, wasn't it? I think he fired one in.
Yeah. I think you're right. But yeah, for the most part, it was tight triangles and work the way up the field, and yeah, playing some nice football.
Yeah, and Miguel, I mean, Chelsea had 7 shots on target to our 4, but even though they had 7 shots on target, we weren't really troubled because we were restricting them to kind of long range efforts that went over the bar, that were easy, or basically soft chances that a header here. But it was nothing really clear cut for them, was there not?
No, the only one that I can think that was big chance was Garnacho uh, in the corner, in the far post that hit and Ruth came across and like almost saved it with the chest. Other than that, possibly the closest one, which he didn't go on target, was Estevao in the second half, where Gertruda got the block. But other than that, I think was a couple of Enzo Fernandez shot from outside the box, or a Caicedo couple of shots from outside the box, very tame headers. I think that I can't count any big chance that came Chelsea way in the second half at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just before Lafay got taken off, Justin, he played a lovely ball over the top for Granit Xhaka, who made like a burst midfield. And like, to be fair, you normally expect a player like that position, not used to being so high up the pitch, to have a nosebleed, but he controlled the ball really well. He brought it down, and at one point, I think he had the option to shoot or to pass, but he didn't.
He should have passed it to Talby. He was just wide open on the right, and he went for the shot, and it got blocked, and it was. But yeah, he was showed a side of his game that we don't. He doesn't obviously get credited for very much. He actually showed a good turn of pace because I think we all thought that he was just going to be a plodding cart horse in midfield, but yeah, he was out of the blocks running on that one. So yeah, it was unfortunate that it didn't come off. I mean, obviously, if he'd scored the goal, we'd have all been saying how great it was. But I think it was the pass was on better more than the shot was.
Yeah, and you could see he was angry at himself, wasn't he? After the moment, he was like talking to himself and thinking, "Why didn't I do that?" But
yeah,
no, but it was really good play. Miguel, about 83 minutes on the clock, and there was like massive roars and cheers from the Sunderland end. Brian Brobby won a tackle and won a header, and it really got the Sunderland fans going, didn't it? Like Riggy was there as well, winning some tackles, and and there was one comment I saw Match of the Day last night from the commentary team. I don't know if you watched it, Match of the Day, and apparently said this is probably the loudest Stamford Bridge has been all season, and it's all Sunderland fans.
Yeah. I watched. Yeah, I think that all you could hear all match was the away end. I think that you barely heard anything coming from the Chelsea supporters except for their goal when they celebrated the goal. All you could hear was Sunderland fans all the time. And yeah, I think that sometimes is all you need. I think that everybody was sensing that it's something here that we can take something from here, and 83rd minute, your players need a little push at the end, 2 or 3 tackles, 2 or 3 headers won, and it just everybody just believed that in that moment that something was there for the taking, and Broby just gives you something different. It's much more physical than the other two forward. We got 3 different forwards, which depends on the match. You give Lebris three probably 3 headaches, but good headaches to have. You got a easy dog which you like to play on the space. You got a ball carrier, probably one of the best ball carriers that we had for a long time, which is Magenda. And then you got a very more physical, strong hold up play that is Broby. So you got a lot of different options in the attack, and I think that was a clever change by Lebris. Give the centre backs something to worry about. But it's one change that I commented when it happened, which was the tossing change for Chelsea. I just didn't understand that at all, because the Jones centre back was fantastic till that moment. He probably was the best performing player for Chelsea. And changing your centre back that late, unless it's an injury, obviously I don't know. But if it wasn't an injury, I found it really strange. The change of your centre back with 10 minutes to go. I don't know. He thought that Broby could give the lad more problems than maybe tossing. I don't know, but yeah, I think that was a strange one for me from Maresca. That one.
Yeah, no. And Justin, on that 83rd minute, on that raw, like the fans' influence on the players is absolutely massive, isn't it? To give them that push, because when you're a player, away player, and you're 1-1, you're against a very good team, and the only noise you're hearing is from your fans, the away fans. That gives you belief, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, and they all said pretty much in the post-match comments that it was for the fans. Yeah, I think we'd struggled a little bit up until like the 80th minute. Chelsea had a lot of the ball, but weren't really doing very much with it. But we were really struggling to get the ball out and getting it to stick, which is why I think it was a good thing to bring Robbie on. I think he brought, obviously, we talked about fresh legs earlier, but just that strength to hold the ball up as well, and gave the fans more to cheer about, because he was putting himself about, was winning the tackles, winning the headers, and yeah, putting a shift in for the team.
Mm-hmm. And then Miguel, obviously the big moment, what was it, 91st minute, 92nd minute. We win the ball back. Gertrude or Hertrauda picks it up. And I think there's several things that we need to take a look at for this goal, isn't it? It's like, firstly, it's the awareness, no, like to play that ball at that moment of the match to Broby, who's up there on his own. But then the accuracy of the pass as well. But then the fact that he sprints up, and as we mentioned before, he's the first player into the box. So he's basically almost getting onto his own pass eventually.
I think that makes the goal as well, because he making that room make Chavola think twice, because Chavola can see him making the room, so that's why he doesn't go too close with tossing Broby. So that gives Broby that few seconds that he needed just to compose, to see who's coming. By making the room, take one of their players out, and then obviously Talby coming as the second wave. Just had a yeah, but I think that definitely not only the pass, but 80 minute make sure, or 90 minute make sure that I'm gonna get there with the pass. I follow my own pass from pretty much our box, and I think that he made that goal not only for the first pass, but the run he makes is key in the goal.
And Justin, the impact of Bobby on that goal is absolutely massive because he basically puts the shits up the two Chelsea defenders. The thing is that he's holding up the ball so long that it was like he was holding up the traffic because it just seemed forever. And I was watching the goal back and I was thinking, Chalobah is there. There's no one for him to mark or cover because there's no one coming in that's unmarked. But he just decides to stand there and let Robbie basically have a fag, take his keys out of his pockets, empty his pockets, and all of a sudden, there's no challenge. So I think Robbie is brilliant, just like to put the shit at the people, but then to have the awareness to just be composed, wait for support, and then he could have chosen the wrong pass. He could have chosen to pass to Hurtado first, but then he waited, saw Talby was coming in from behind. So I think Robbie deserves a lot of praise as well, doesn't he, for that moment?
Yeah, like you said, it seemed to be an age before anything happened. It was just kind of holding Chalobah off and just standing there with it. It wasn't like nothing was happening. It was like, well, like the cavalry's going to arrive at some point. And to Miguel's point, I think Gasauda, when he broke into the box against, it must have been Tosin, he kind of rolled off him and he ended up in an offside position, but the act of rolling sort of across him blocked him off for Talby's shot. So it was kind of both an instigator and almost a creator of space for Talby to finish. And for a young kid, I mean, that was just a perfect finish as well. Wasn't it? It was just it was almost like Tommy Watson's goal in at Wembley. It was just basically a pass into the far corner. Goalie didn't even move, and just a perfect end, and probably one that you felt was coming as well. It felt like we were getting more into the game, and that if a team was going to score, it was going to be us that did it. So yeah, look, and just a great end to the game.
Yeah, Miguel, is that goal from Talby the moment that he needed to kind of like really kickstart his Sunderland career?
Hopefully it is. I think he's been better where he's been coming on lately. I think that he had a good game when he came on against Wolves. I think he had a good game yesterday as well, even without the goal. Uh, I think you can see a different player on the left side with Talby, that because he gives you the option to go either way. He can go from the cut inside. I think it was against the Wolves. Wolves that he cut inside with a beautiful cross to Ballard that he just missed by an inch. And I think you can see that he's a player there. We said it from the beginning, but again, it's that kind of thing with young players, and just be patient and things will come. And that's probably what Lebris is saying. That's probably why he took him on the fire line, like he did with Magenta last year. It's very clever from Lebris, and just little by little getting him into the team, into a position that he likes to play. Hopefully, this is what he needed to give it that confidence, and hopefully starting to come more from him.
Yeah. I mean, Justin, it was only a few weeks ago when he had that chance at Man United, a very similar position, and the keeper saved it. Do you think that would have been bugging him, and he's been working on that type of finish?
You'd hope so, wouldn't you? Yeah, like you say, it was sort of he's had a couple like that actually, where he's come in off the left, and I can't remember, possibly against Villa, where he tried to curl one in at the far post and just blasted it wide.
And there was a chance he had at Burnley as well, where he kind of tripped over the keeper.
Yeah, but definitely looks a better player on the left. Looks like he's been working on his game. I don't think he'll be starting regardless. I think he's Lebris keeps saying about the finishers. I think his best position still at the moment is coming off the bench and using his pace against tired defenders for the time being. I mean, obviously, hopefully he'll make the starting lineup at some point, but yeah, I think he's looking like a decent player. It's almost worrying that he's sort of, if he comes into form now, he might actually play his way into the Morocco team for AFCON. So perhaps we need to sort of keep quiet about that one and hope he has a couple of stinkers for a while and doesn't play in that tournament. But I think he looks like like a good player.
Yeah, and we mentioned it before. Like Granit Xhaka was celebrating before the ball even went in the back of the net.
Mhm.
And Miguel, do you think we might get a couple of fines from the FA for the pitch invasion from the players or the subs who came on the pitch?
I'm sure KLD can pay that. That's no problem at all. I'm sure he got deep pockets, KLD, for pay for that. That's no. I think he'll be happy to pay that fine every weekend
Yeah,
if he needs me. Yeah,
yeah.
probably you know what the FA is like, but yeah, he likes to fine clubs as much as he can because you know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that is something. I think it's one of those fines that you pay quite happily. No, no, no. I don't believe that it will be a problem for KLD to write a check for whatever amount it is.
No,
That'll be
no,
fine.
not for a moment like that. Just I don't know if you saw like the end of the match when they had that corner, which was like terribly put in by I think it was Estevao. But just
Mhm.
before that, like Maresca, they focused on him and he basically had his eyes closed,
Hmm.
and that was like the sign of a defeated man.
Yeah, he just didn't know what to do, did he? And yeah, like you say, the corner they sent the goalie up, and then it didn't even make it into play. It just went straight into the side netting. It was just absolute waste of time. Um, but yeah, I think I've seen online this morning. There's a few people calling for Maresca to be sacked, um, which yeah, who knows?
Bizarre. I mean,
Uh,
they've won the Conference League, they won the Club World Championships,
yeah,
and but they couldn't stop the mighty old Sunderland because they made 10 changes, didn't they? From the Nottingham Forest game to the midweek Ajax game, they made 10 changes and they still couldn't stop the mighty
yeah,
Sunderland.
no excuses really.
Right then, so that's about it for today. We are currently fourth because Tottenham have winning 1-0 against Everton. So we're currently fourth on 17 points, but listen, we're still well above the Mags, and that's the most important thing as well. Right. Justin, Miguel, thanks a lot for your time, and I'll
No,
speak again with you both soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, and how are the lads?
Right,
how are the
lads.
lads?